It's time to wander the world with Sharon. Enjoy this Big Blend radio podcast featuring award-winning travel writer and photographer Sharon K. Kurtz. Welcome, everyone. We are talking about Niagara Falls in Canada today. We're going to Ontario, and Sharon has got a great article that is up on blendradioandtv.com. The link is in the episode notes, so you can follow along and see her photos as well. You can also go to niagarafallstourism.com. So, Sharon, you had a good time, and you went like at the beginning of fall. So did you see any fall colors out there?
Not quite yet. It was still Niagara Falls, Canada. It is one of the most beautiful places. It looks like a park. Going down the roads, there's beautiful greenery and flowers, and so it wasn't fall yet, but it was gorgeous. And everyone's heard of Niagara Falls, but maybe like me, I didn't even go to the falls until I was already an adult because you think, oh yes, it's always there. I'll get there. And so finally going, it's just amazing. Beautiful.
So finally getting there and going to the Canadian side is something that a lot
Yes.
of us stay on this side and don't go to the Canadian side. And it sounds like you had a wonderful time, and not just the waterfalls themselves. You got wet. Had to wear one of those rain jackets,
Oh my gosh.
waterfall jackets.
It is so many wonderful adventure activities where you get really wet. Number one, we all know about, it's called the City Cruises Niagara on the Canadian side when you go the Maid of the Mist kind of boat where it goes right up to them and you just get soaked, so soaked, like you can't possibly get your camera out. I had a cover on my cell phone so it wouldn't get ruined. And it was so wet that I can't see any of the pictures.
Oh,
but anyway, the Canadian side is really the best side. You have three waterfalls, and the Horseshoe Falls, that is their primary one, is the biggest. And we went under the falls. We went at the base of them, just like what you're seeing on my side. That is called the tunnel. So the Niagara Power Station, this is where they developed hydroelectric power. And it was a fight, a competition between Tesla and Edison. And Edison, I'm going to get my facts straight. But anyway, since the 18th...
Tesla's amazing. Let's just put it this. I think they both are, but there is some history of them really competing, and there's like, I don't know, it's kind of a controversy from what I've heard. And we've had different guests on shows talk about their inventions, but like how Tesla was ahead, but then some say that he stole his information from Edison. And so I'm not the historian on it, but I encourage people to go and travel and read those signs and go take a tour, because then you're going to get all that information. But they were kind of, arguing on stuff.
Oh, yes. They went head to head about what type power is the best. And so now it is a museum, but with all the original equipment there and turbines, and it is amazing to see it all. And then now they've started a new attraction. It's called the tunnel. So you go down an elevator under the station to the original tunnel where all the water came through. And you walked down the long tunnel to this observation deck, and that's where I am there. And so it's at the base of the Horseshoe Falls, and you see that boat, and it is just gorgeous. And where you are
so powerful. It's powerful.
It is. So that was really incredible and fun.
So you don't want to fall over in there.
No, you don't want to fall in. You don't want to fall over the little.
But there was that lady who went down in a barrel or something. I don't know which side of it was, but she went down in a barrel.
In 1910, I think. And she was a school teacher, and she survived. And I believe she took her little dog with her. And they both survived.
Toto. No, it wasn't Toto, but anyway, that little dog went, it's Toto, but it's amazing. So there's that, then history that you're learning, but I want to actually go back to the history, because I know you were on our women's show about women saving lives, talking about Harriet Tubman. So there's the Underground Railroad network that I
Yes.
had no idea was connected to here, like up by the falls and into Canada. So tell us a little bit about that because you went to the museum, right?
Yes. So we know the history of Harriet Tubman. She brought people up and got them safe, but for 10 years, the Civil War was still going on, and she couldn't live in the US. So she lived there around Niagara on the lake for 10 years before she ever moved to the um, Finger Lakes area of New York.
Okay.
And
That's
it's a
right, Albany in
museum.
that area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it tells the history of Harriet Tubman and where it shows where she lived and the history of that area. So it's really fascinating.
that's really cool, and so this, you have these mighty falls, and then like you were talking about, but you also saw flower power. So you went to like a conservancy, like a botanical gardens with
Yes,
butterflies and blooms. Ooh,
they have the most gorgeous, as I said, nature. So they have the Flower Conservancy, and when we were there, they had an exhibit where they were doing flower, just picture like New York Day floats in New York, but stationary, of bumblebees and dragons, everything made of flower
mm.
sculptures. It is so
Oh,
beautiful.
ooh,
Then we went to the Butterfly Conservancy. So that's close by, another beautiful park. And when we were there, they were having a monarch tagging and release program. So they have
that's
a
cool.
butterfly house. We got to see how they tag them. It's just the most amazing thing. Under their wings, there's a little tag, and wherever they fly, if they get caught, we'll know what the path of that butterfly.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So flowers,
Yes,
butterflies,
yes, yes,
waterfalls, history, right?
yes.
Electricity and inventions. This is good. I got it. So, oh, before we go further, so you've got all the cruises you can take, right? So there's a lot of attractions and activities around the falls, but you said you got in your article, you talk about an adventure pass. So this is going to save people
Yes,
money and a way to know and where to go.
right. That is such a wonderful feature. Here, this is my pass.
You're an
And
adult. Look at
I
that.
know, look, and
Yeah.
then you get all of these activities already built in. It's a tremendous savings. And then they give you a little passport. So
Oh,
every place we went, they actually stamped our passport. And this it is so much fun. And Niagara Falls is so much more than the falls. Of course, it's that, but there's so much more. So this is really a great way to experience Niagara Falls, Canada.
very cool. Very cool. So it's kind of like how City Pass works in the States.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
they
in the
they do
back,
Toronto too. They do Toronto too, I believe. Yeah.
and it also included public transportation. So say you're visiting for four
Oh,
days, you don't want to drive from place to place. Well, they have a really easy to use public transportation buses, and that's included in whatever pass level that you get. But that is another nice feature.
so that's yeah, that is good. That especially if you're not used to an area and it's just nice to get in and go have a good
Right,
time. And
right.
so, did you spend the night?
We spent 4 nights. We stayed, if you go to Niagara Falls, you want your accommodation to have a view of the falls. I mean, that is like the ultimate. So we
Yeah,
stayed
yeah.
at the DoubleTree Falls View Resort, 18 floors, and my floor looked out over what we see there. And at night, I could see they have a light show and a fireworks show every night. And
Oh
so I
my.
look out my window getting ready for bed and fireworks are going off and the falls, it's called the illumination and they change colors all the way along. It is just beautiful.
Wow. Wow. So I feel like we need champagne. you know, just to overlook that. You could be in like your bedclothes and just go, I'm having champagne and having this
Yes,
experience, and I don't have to go
yes.
anywhere. It's right here. I'd like
Well,
some chocolate.
it was, I can't say enough nice things. The people are so nice. It's a beautiful property. It reminds me of Frank Lloyd Wright. It's all
Oh,
architectural and stone and Just it's a beautiful property right there at Niagara Falls at the base.
Wow. So, I said chocolate and champagne, but apparently you
Oh,
did have a good time
wine.
with wine.
We didn't talk
Yeah.
about wine yet. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Niagara Falls is a huge wine area. It's called Niagara on the Lake, and it's because of the terroir, the geography, but it makes the best wines. And we uh, managed to have quite a lot of wine in 4 days.
But well, because it's over 100 wineries, right? So they're on the other
Yes,
side of the Finger Lakes, really. So
yes.
it's like the
So
continuation. So it's all kind of connected, but just two different countries.
they're known for what's called ice wine, and that is very special. It literally is
Hmm.
kind of what you would imagine. The grapes ripen and they leave them on the vines until the middle of winter. They're frozen solid, and that's when they harvest them and they, press them and reduce it down so it's just the essence of the wine. It's very concentrated, and
Mm,
it's kind of a sweet wine, but not like not like a Riesling sweet wine. It's just
hmm.
like cognac or something. It's very, very delicious.
Sip it,
Ice
sip
wine.
it.
Yes,
Kind of,
sipping
yeah.
wine at the end of
Oh,
the evening.
well, that's something special because you're not going to get that everywhere, you know?
Yeah, that is
I
true.
know they do it up in the Midwest areas and things like that, but so it seems like you got to actually eat at wineries too, food wise. So it was, that there was a lot
Yes,
of farm to table food going on connected with the
yes,
wineries.
yes. It's all about farm to table in Niagara Falls because it is just
Nice.
loaded with fresh vegetables and fruits and wine, as we know, and grapes. But we ate at one winery. It's called Trius Winery and Restaurant. And we ate at the best restaurant inside the winery. And when we got back a week later, it got a Michelin recommendation. One of the first
Wow.
for Niagara Falls. It was really
Oh, good for
spectacular.
them. Good
Yes.
for them. So yeah, so you were doing some quality tastings, you know?
Yes, we did not
It's
go hungry.
Well, it seems to me that it's because I know it's a four-season destination. And so fall, y'all, we're at the end, we're not quite at the end, but we're almost getting there. So you could still go there, see some fall colors, and it just seems very vibrant and cheerful and kind of has like looking at all your photos and reading your article and going on the website, it just seems like it's like a healthy place to live, like quality of life, with
Yes,
fresh vegetables and wine and nature and flowers. I mean, that sounds
yes.
good.
They want you to know that, yes, we're Niagara Falls, but we're so much more than that. Come for the falls and stay for all the
Hmm.
activities we have to offer. And there are no action activities. One thing I loved about Niagara Falls was all of the active activities we got to
Hmm.
do, and we got to go up in a helicopter. It's called
Cool.
Niagara Helicopters. It was so cool. I think there was room for just four of us. And you get to see the geology of the falls and you get to see the water going over and where the rivers come from. That was really fun. Love that.
Oh, that is fun. I love being up and being able to see that aerial view, that bird's eye view,
Yeah,
it's a whole different magnificence. Have you been to Victoria Falls?
I have.
Yeah, so did this is this different? Because I've done like the two Twin Falls in Idaho, which was pretty outstanding, right? But this seems like way, way, way bigger, right?
Well, it's similar to Victoria Falls. Victoria Falls, I believe, is bigger,
Wider.
wider
Yeah.
and bigger. But here we had so many falls experiences. We went in a tunnel under the falls right up to the bottom.
Hmm.
We went on another activity called Journey through the falls, and we got soaking wet. I mean, you were just right there, and it was a blast. Everyone was laughing and wet,
Cool.
and but you hear
That's
the
fun.
roar and the power of the falls.
That's what I want to hear is the power of that. Because
Yeah,
it just shows you how incredible nature is. Do they have like hiking trails and parks with things like that out there that
they
you saw?
do. It's just a little bit outside of town, but there's beautiful hikes and organized tours. We can maybe add a link to the
Mm.
notes.
Okay, cool, cool. Because I think people would like that. If you're out in a nature thing, go out and let's go hike and see what the terrain is on the other side of the falls. You know what I mean?
Right,
To
right.
see that scenery. Well, everyone, again, the link to the tourism site is niagarafallstourism.com. And we've also got the article that Sharon wrote up on blendradioandtv.com, and it's linked from there. And of course, keep up with Sharon at sharonkkurtz.com. And so much to hear about, and the other thing I did want to just say when it comes to history, this is also the area of the War of 1812, which is just such
Oh,
a
yes.
massive war. That is so much history with the British. Everybody we were all battling, y'all, but we're all related. Not
Yeah.
all of us,
We
but
didn't get to go, but there's
obviously, but
two forts where visitors can go. And do you know our guide, Adam, he told us that farmers actually can still find cannonballs in their fields.
no
Can
way.
you believe that? Yes.
That's a trip.
Artifacts of the war, like when they plow, every now and again, strange things come up. And we didn't talk about Clifton Hill. Clifton Hill
Mm.
is like the amusement park area of Niagara Falls. And do you know it's the only place in the world where you can actually get on a roller coaster built on top of a Dairy Queen?
Oh, so do
True.
you have your Dairy Queen before or after? I think probably after. I think you
Yeah,
get a
it
treat
is.
after that.
It
Yeah,
is.
just in case.
Yes, like if you go to Weird Wonders of the World, you'll
Oh,
find a
I
little
love that.
blurb about, you want to go on a roller coaster built on top of a Dairy Queen? Niagara Falls,
That's where
that's
you
where
go.
you do it, Clifton Hill.
Hey, roadside attractions. We all like that kind of stuff, Come
Yes,
on, come on. Well, thank you so much, Sharon. We're looking forward to next month. We're going to be talking about some of your backyard. We're going to go to Fredericksburg, Texas, and talk about more wine and music, right?
yes,
Ooh,
and German culture.
we like that. We like that. Well, thank you so much.
It was fun. See you next
Always. Thanks for joining us here on Big Blend Radio's Wonder the World with Sharon podcast. You can keep up with Sharon's adventures at SharonKKurtz.com. Follow Big Blend Radio at BigBlendRadio.com. Happy travels.